Continuing with this phenomenal chapter, you ended with a quote, and I'd love for you to bring it back up again.
If any great and lasting good is to come from our efforts, and this is Elon talking on the White Sands incident, as extraterrestrial being.
Dr. Daniel W. Fry.
The actual leaders must be your own people, or it must come from men who are indistinguishable from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is interesting as we get into him explaining this.
Come from men who are indistinguishable. We're not just talking about just men. It could be men or women. But think about the rise of Elon Musk.
Yes.
He's pretty much indistinguishable from a lot of normal people. They like that. They like that he does memes. They like that he talks about philosophy and he's sassy and he's on Twitter and does this stuff. They like that he's pushing technology and wants to talk about these big things. And
and everybody says he's a nice person, like genuinely nice. Like,
why do you think every time he says something, it resonates with so many people? Because this message is being heard. If Elon Musk said, hey, I just got to Mars, we have some extraterrestrial archaeological objects here, and they look to have some sort of connection with Earth, people would fucking be like, sure. They'd take that over the Pope.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%. Because it's coming from someone who is of their likeness. The Pope is not of your likeness. The president is not of your likeness. The head of GE is not of your likeness. You would have to come from somebody who has this sort of normalized attitude that actually that the people who follow them have adapted to.
Yeah, it wouldn't be part of the 1%.
No, it couldn't be. Even though he is very wealthy,
Right.
His attitude and his publicness is something that affords him the following he has that allows people to be like, I'm going to listen to him rather than anyone else. Like, that's where the change comes from. Individuals who are honest and truthful like that and just being themselves and can connect with all the other regular people out there, that makes that difference.
Yeah, and he goes into this a little bit more, talking about landing on the White House and giving a speech with news media. He says, it is practical, therefore, to realize that if we were to land our craft near the seat of your government, we would immediately be surrounded and taken in charge by those military forces whose duty is to protect the heads of your government from any possible danger. We would be questioned for hours, perhaps days, before any request we might make would even be given consideration. We would then be forced to display our superiority in the realm of the material science.
Classic. This is classic government issue. Go ahead.
Once our superiority in this field had been demonstrated, the military leaders would inevitably adopt the position that it was imperative that their country acquire and protect this advanced scientific knowledge.
And I guess you land on all lawns at the same time.
Yeah.
Give this technology to everybody.
Yeah. The attitude of your government, in common with the governments of other advanced nations of your planet today, is that all new knowledge, particularly scientific knowledge, is the property of the state.
Don't look at me with your anarchist brow and say that all scientific knowledge.
I love this. Yeah. Because this next part is even better. To be withheld entirely or to be disseminated at such time and in such manner as may seem desirable to those who at that time are regarded as the governing body.
Isn't that great? Every 40 years, we'll give them something good. That's what happens. Why do you think government technology, like deep black budget stuff, is so far ahead? So far ahead. And we get the iPhone in like 2000? Are you kidding me? Bluetooth? Why did Wi-Fi take so long to come out? It was developed in the 80s in California. DARPA. Okay? Google has an advanced search algorithm, but NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory has Memex. You ever heard of it? What's going on with that? It's whenever they have used it enough for their advantage, they've moved on to a better thing, and they're like, we can give it to the public now.
Yeah, and he explains this. He explains the attitude, which I thought was really cool. He said, such an attitude is not the fault of any individual or political faction. That would just solve all our problems right now.
Yes.
If we understood this. He said, it's simply a philosophy of government which developed during the last two great wars upon your earth.
Yeah.
So World War I, World War II.
It's that first strike advantage. You know, it's information and first strike. Oh, they have a rotary machine gun? Oh, they have special like poison gases they're using? Well, we got to get that. Oh, they got a nuke? We got to get that nuke. Oh, we got to keep things secret because we share information, then the other enemy has the advantage. Secrets hinder evolution. That's what they do. All we live in is this world of secrets. Why do you think we have all these movies on espionage and all that stuff going on?
Yeah, and he says, as a matter of fact, most of the tensions which now exist between the many nations in your world are the direct results of this excessive secrecy.
See, that's my point. We only have tension because we're not truthful and we don't share with one another. Why do you think we have nuclear submarines? No one knows where they are.
Yeah, and Dr. Fry, being an American, patriotic Christian, says this.
He's the OG cure.
But let's suppose you did land. Let's suppose you did give our country the benefit of your knowledge. Wouldn't that tend to prevent the outbreak of another war? Surely, listen to this. Dr. Fry says this. Surely you don't think us to be barbaric that we would attack another country simply because we felt that we possessed the means to conquer it.
Is he that ignorant?
Well, I mean, you would land on the White House because America's the greatest country. Big Eagle.
Yeah. Carrying shit in its talons. You know? Going to Congress. What's with the big fascist symbols in the background? You know? Coalition.
All of it, yeah.
Why is all
your senators and congressmen in German death cults? We're gonna do some podcasting on that here pretty soon. My favorite shit.
Yeah. I just don't. It's frankly astonishing that, you know, there's probably other people in other countries that would say the same thing. And Fry's just a little ignorant to the nature of, I guess, complex systems. Mm-hmm. He knows closed systems, or I guess open systems. It's a rocket. That's all he knows. I know one open system, nothing else. But when you talk about the complexity of it, how things become interlinked in the nuances of human nature and understanding, it's a little different at that point. Of course, you're not going to land on the lawn. Of course, anybody who gets the technology is going to want to conquer other people. All they want to do is conquer. If you have a border up, all you want to do is conquer more space. You saw it with Lebensraum in Germany in the late 30s, early 40s. We need more living space.
Yeah, and he talks about like the government trying to keep it a secret, wouldn't keep it a secret. The Soviet Union would know that the military forces has more advanced technical knowledge. He said they would launch immediate attack. And then he said, remember the lessons of your Pearl Harbor and you will more clearly realize this.
Yeah.
A surprise attack.
It's all about surprise attacks.
If we were to land in both countries simultaneously, this is your question, the results would more than likely intensify the existing race for armaments. Eventually could bring about the very Holocaust we are attempting to prevent.
Why? Because they're like, shit, they got it before we do. We got to launch. We got to prevent. We got to prevent this from happening.
We will point out the way and help you to understand the wisdom of love and cooperation. So he's resetting his mind.
Guys, like,
yeah, I know you're all about our craft,
yeah,
Mr. Engineer, but it's about love and cooperation.
At the end of the day, this is where your culture fails.
Whether or not your children have any future to look forward to will depend largely upon the success or failure of your own efforts.
Snap.
That should be for everyone. That message is for everyone.
That is probably one of the heaviest messages in the book. Think about our planet. I mean, this was in the 50s, but think about, he was dealing with, nuclear holocaust threat. I guess we still have the same one. China's got to chill out.
Yeah, and this is what happens in society. This is why I don't watch the news anymore. I've really gotten off of a lot of social media just for this reason. And Alan said this, Alan, that is because they have stated only the problem without offering any solutions.
All the time.
That's everyone does that.
Let's report
it's
problem.
Easy.
Problem.
It's easy to report on a problem.
Gosh, I hate something.
Captain Obvious.
I cannot stand when someone states a problem and then offers zero solution. Do not state the problem without a solution. Otherwise, you're telling me something ridiculous, obvious, and you're just creating noise around it. It means you haven't thought it through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Everybody, think about politicians. Noise, bitch about this. Data's your right, blah, blah, blah. No solution. We show up with a solution. They stop talking.
None.
Where's the talking? Oh, you don't want to talk about us? Because we came up with a solution. All you want to do is just talk about it? Talk about a problem? Problem solved.
And it's all talking points. It's all little sound bites and little sound. Every politician does that. I don't care. And we have tons of people listening all over the world. And whether you're in Australia, United States, or wherever, it's just bullshit.
And think about the polarization of that. It's only a problem. So you're only giving me negative polarity. There's no balance to it.
Mm-mm.
You're just inundating the world with these negative polarizations. Good job.
Yeah, and he says, your civilization is facing a great problem. And during the last few years, it has become a critical one. Its existence is not the fault of any race, creed, or political faction, but it is purely a result of a basic weakness in your human nature. This is really, really good what we're going to get into.
This is
So
heavy.
so he's saying you have a huge problem.
Yep. It's not
So
political.
I'm pointing out the problem, but I'm going to offer a solution.
Yeah.
This is not the solution that Dr. Fry wants or any of us want.
No.
But the solution is so clear and so truthful. It's amazing.
But what does he say? He states a problem, but he said it's not this one. It's not this one. It's not this one. That's not the source of it.
Right.
I'm going to tell you what the source is.
So first, and we need to dissect this. So first is the lack of attention and uncertainty. So those are the two words you use: lack of attention and uncertainty. And we're going to get into what it is, but I want to focus on that. So
When you have a lack of attention,
right,
you're not really listening to the other person, country, the other side. You're not affording yourself the ability to think things through because you don't give it its due attention. Think about how distracted we are with everything.
Oh yeah,
Social media, news, like you said, sound bites, right? Double like, flip through, flip through, flip through. Everything is very minimum, just hit you real quick dopamine hit, be done with it. It doesn't ask for attention. Why are less people reading?
mm-hmm.
Because they don't know how to afford attention to actual long text. How many people are learning second languages in the U.S.? Not very many. It's going down. They're lacking attention. It's not there for them.
Well, I mean, I was even doing this the other night. I was watching a documentary, and then I got on my phone and I got distracted, and then I was like, "Oh shit! I need to rewind 20 minutes."
Yeah.
I don't remember anything for 20 minutes of what that documentary was about.
First of all, you're not respecting the work.
Right.
You initially told yourself you're going to do something. You didn't follow through with it.
Right.
A lack of attention is such a prevalent issue for all of us. And we're not attentive to even what we do within our own actions. Outside of the observing stance, we're not just paying attention to our own actions or thoughts.
Yeah, but I thought it was interesting that he used this combination, the lack of attention and uncertainty. And I know they flip with each other. You can say if you're uncertain, you're going to have lack of attention. But, uncertainty is a big word.
Uncertainty says, I don't have foundational things in my own thoughts, in my own life, for me to step off of. I have built my life, my perspective, my matrix on sand, not a solid granite foundation. And that sand shifts all the time. I live in constant uncertainty. All my choices are founded on a lack of understanding, a lack of attention. That's why they're built together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have attention because you have no certainty. You have no certainty because you put no attention into your foundation. You put it towards all this other superfluous stuff.
So he says the lack of attention and uncertainty you often feel towards a supreme creative force, and your failure to understand how this great creative spirit can be used to help you express more love and consideration towards your fellow human beings.
Which are these are creational laws. This is looking at nature. They say it here. Outside of everything else we've talked about, our fundamental lack of attention to nature means we have a lack of attention to ourselves, and it hinders our understanding of one another. It's so inherently, it has nothing to do with your religion, politics, race, color, creed. Does not matter.
Yeah, he says it is an extremely simple problem, and like most simple things, it is important. It's important that it's been overlooked by too many of your people.
Creational energy, this great spirit it talks about, the power, the primal you are, look it up if you want to do some cool research, is always giving. It's like cosmic radiation in space from the earliest days of when this cycle of Big Bang has happened. It's just out there. It's constantly radiating. It's there to be captured and used, but we don't use it. We don't use that creational energy. We don't even use our sun properly. We're still burning fossil fuels.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is abundant all the time. In their craft, they have a differential accumulator. It uses multiple energy sources that are constantly giving. It knows how to receive it and then create with it. We are not good at doing that. We're not good at realizing the thoughts, the truth that is coming to us all the time. The fact that we are all a part of the universe. Religion stops on Earth. The second you leave Earth, does the universe have a religion? No, it doesn't. It just does its thing. Being itself. It just is. Is this clear?
Well, that's very clear. And I think that's what science should be. If you really think about it, exactly what you said. Science should be the ability to be able to take creational energy and transfer it into a zero state, whether we want to say zero emissions or whatever, but translate it into helpful for the planet and helpful for humanity, because it's all there. It's, ExxonMobil or Shell or, Royal Dutch or any of these, how many scientists do they have working for them to make fossil fuel cleaner? It's like you're still you're on the end of the branch that he talked about.
That's like making a dead body less dead by putting makeup on it.
Yeah.
I hope you like my metaphor.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Our science, we've evolved material science. You and I talk about this a lot. And then, that's all doing great. And then Carl Jung comes along. He's talking about social science. How do I evolve social understanding of society through our thoughts? Interesting. And then the other branch is spiritual science, which is what we're bringing in. But what happens when you combine all three? We focused on one, the other two were missing. Carl Jung, he's talked about, but the world doesn't really know about him. Not many people practice social science. We do a poor job of looking at social determinants of health to understand why countries are healthy or sick or unhappy. But we can create a jet that does Mach 2.7 and can kill people at a fraction of the speed. That's our focus. What about the understanding of our spirit? Never even looked at it. What about the relation of our spirit to the universe?
Mm-hmm.
What about our social sciences, our relationships to one another? So if you're looking at this grouping, like you have mind, body, spirit, you have material, social, and spirit, why are we not focusing on these other aspects? We only focus on body. We only focus on material. But these other 2/3, these things that fundamentally hold us together in this very strong shape, right? This pyramid shape. This is what has been missed. And because we missed the simplicity of that focus,
that makes sense. Yes.
We have uncertainty. We're uncertain because we only have 1/3 of our picture. We're lacking 66% of life. Wouldn't that create a lot of uncertainty? We lack attention because we only focus on 33% of life. And here's another one for you. You focus on 33% of life in the material, of which only 55% of that 33% you're awake for. What about the other 45%? So if you really think about how much you're paying attention to, you really only see 15% of life. Of course, that's going to create uncertainty. Of course, it's going to create fear.
Yeah, and he said, actually, the solution lies in a complete understanding of the problem. In order to help you understand it thoroughly, I will state it in the simplest possible terms. So he's like breaking this down. Every civilization in the universe, no matter where or when it originates, develops primarily through the continuing increase in knowledge and understanding which results from the successful pursuit of science. The word science, so here's an extraterrestrial giving a definition of science. So we should pay attention.
I don't want to say I get the chills when someone says they're going to give me a word definition.
The word science has been defined in your dictionaries as the orderly, intelligently directed search for truth. Under this definition, the whole of science may be divided into three principal parts for the purpose of discussing and of achieving a greater degree of understanding. So once again, he's using our terminology to explain something.
Meet people where they are in their own evolution and then bring them to where they need to be.
The three principal parts may be defined as follows. 1, the physical or material science, which deals with the needs and desires of the physical body of man and with the nature of the physical universe in which he dwells.
Okay.
So physical, material science, we have the physical body of man, physical universe.
Physics.
Get that.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
Universe.
Our body and our planet and the universe around us.
That's it. All the things we can see.
In this division are found the subjects known as physics, mathematics, astronomy, chemistry, etc. as well as the manufacture and distribution of the endless number of material products necessary to the well-being, the comfort, and the pleasure of man. So he's not opposed to any of these things.
Nope.
Number 2, the social sciences, which you just talked about. The social sciences which deal with the relationship which exists between man and his fellow man and the means by which that relationship may be successful, productive, and progressive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very, very simple. How can we as humans on this global planet have the right social science?
You got to start by calling other people humans.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not hello,
No
gay
bias.
person. Oh, hello, black person.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Chinese person.
Yeah.
That's not what it is. Oh, hello, Democrat. Those things hinder the social science.
Or I'm an Englishman. What the hell does that mean?
That doesn't mean shit to me.
Yeah. Hey, well, I'm an Englishman.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like.
Okay, cool. I'm a human. Yeah. Oh, you breathe oxygen? Cool.
Wow, yeah.
Great. Fantastic.
In this division are found the studies of society, government, psychology, the non-material phases of economics. So that's number 2. So number 1, we have the physical or material science. We have 2, the social science. Number 3, we have the spiritual science, which deals with the relationship between man and the great creative power and infinite intelligence, which pervades and controls all nature.
Mm-hmm.
This is the power and intelligence which your people refer to as God. So he's like, this is your definition of
your people.
Yeah. All of that science in the universe, all of the search for truth and the pursuit of understanding will come under one of these 3 headings or divisions. We cannot draw a sharp dividing line between them because there are times when they will overlap. Mm-hmm. But the fundamental laws which govern all 3 divisions are identical.
Creational, natural laws. Because none of these things can sit outside of creation because they are part of creation itself. It's a wonderful piece of logic here.
Yeah, he says if any civilization in the universe is developed fully and successfully, each of the 3 branches of science must be pursued with equal effort and diligence.
Remember how I said we're all good at 2.7, Mach 2.7 and killing people,
but
we're bad at calling people human beings and understanding them? That's your problem. I've talked about many times before I even came across this book, and you and I have both discussed this to the end, to the hilt. Technology has evolved this far, but it's left human evolution down here.
Mm-hmm.
It's all well and good that we have better ball bearings, faster laptops, better phones, all this other great stuff. But we are still killing one another because we do not understand one another. Our policies are still poor because we don't understand how to do them properly. Technology is evolving technology. Mm-hmm. Technology is not helping evolve human beings. That is a huge disparity for us. And we need to fix that gap. We need to balance that scale back out and bring equilibrium across the 3 of these things.
Yeah, he says the spiritual and social sciences, however, must come first. There can be no dependable development of a material science until you have first built a firm foundation of spiritual and social science.
Otherwise, it's built on sand.
Yes.
Everything else, our economies are completely artificial because they don't stand on anything purposeful. Honestly, they wouldn't function the way they did. We wouldn't have loss. We wouldn't have so much death. Like all these other war machines. And getting into it is like, it's tiring, but those things would cease to exist in their operation because they fall outside of a truthful understanding that happens in the spiritual and social science understanding of being a human being here on this planet and in relation to the universe.
Yeah, he even talks about us not distinguishing ourselves from animals. And I thought this was interesting. As your people grow in wisdom and understanding, they will come to realize that there are several specific differences between man and any of the animals. Animals have no spiritual or social science. Consequently, they have never developed any material science and never will because there is no dependable foundation upon which material science can be built. It's very simple. That explains it right there.
How fucking logical is that? You know, when Jane Goodall's talking about we're apes, I'm like, we're not. We're not freaking apes. Please.
Mm-mm.
We're not. Oh, man.
They don't know. They don't know any better. I was watching it. This is kind of interesting. We can close because I know we're getting, we're getting pretty close. On Wikipedia, I don't know if this is true. You could look it up, but the strength of a gorilla compared to a man, dude, huge. I was so shocked. So shocked.
Really?
Yeah, they can bench press 4,000 pounds.
Get out of here.
No, look it up.
Are you serious?
Yeah, let's look this up. This is interesting
We're going
facts.
right now. Okay.
Gorilla strength compared to a man.
Ten times stronger than a man.
And they have 4 hands, basically. Could you imagine trying to hold a gorilla down? And they use their mouth to bite you. They have fangs, monster teeth.
With all the strength, gorillas can break down and tear banana trees with their bare hands.
A tear tree.
Gorillas have even escaped from cages by bending iron bars. Okay. The heaviest wild gorilla, oh my gosh, ever recorded was a silverback male in Cameroon, 589 pounds, 6 feet tall.
And he has the strength 10 times that of a man?
9 times stronger than the average man. He could lift a weight. He could just pick a weight up with his hand that was 1,800 pounds. With one hand.
So you take an 1,800-pound dumbbell and you put it on the ground and he would just pick it up.
Yes.
So...
No.
So, when I'm just saying, he
can throw 900 pounds.
A 900-pound baseball.
Yeah. Get out of the way.
Well, they're jacked. I mean, they're naturally jacked. They don't lift weights.
Oh,
they're just fucking. So you see how big they are?
Yeah.
They're just like all neck. I mean, try to wrestle one of those. You're done. They'll just rip you in pieces.
Yeah, I got no interest.
I mean, they could literally.
They can punch you with 2,700 pounds of force.
But I don't want to be mean, but when you, especially like monkeys, chimpanzees, when you look at what they do to humans, if you're a male, they rip your dick off.
Yep.
And there's a reason for that because they know
Yep.
in this like social science in a rudimentary way that's how you reproduce. They bite your eyes out.
Yep.
Because they know that's how you see. They'll bite your fingers off.
They rip your face off.
Yeah, they'll
They've
rip your
done
face
it
off
multiple times to people.
Yeah. So I mean, this is what he's talking about.
They have a bite.
Animals
force.
have no.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
They have a bite force double that of a lion. If you're worried about a lion biting you,
a gorilla is the worst thing.
I'd worry about the gorilla.
You're done.
1,300 pounds per square inch.
I wonder how many humans gorillas have killed.
Great white shark, 525. It's triple a great white shark. Run from the gorilla with all your might.
The gorilla's probably per pound, probably the strongest thing out there.
Yeah, it is. It's got to be.
Because the elephant's huge and can do, but it weighs so much. It's just. But isn't that crazy though? So the more we look at nature, the more we see how amazing it is. But we have to understand. They even talk about this. As a result, they have developed a limited form of material science and have learned to erect simple structures and store food against a future time of need. They're talking about ants, bees, stuff like
bees,
that. Yeah. They have no spiritual science, however, and the lack of spiritual science has been a bar to any further development. No matter how much we say that we're a part of that gorilla has no spiritual science.
No.
It's looking at you as either a non-threat or a threat. Because they'll like look at a person and be like, eh.
When's the last time you saw a pope put on a mitre hat? A gorilla put on a mitre hat like the Pope
and declare himself.
And declare himself a thing and sit with a staff and sit on a throne.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that.
And he says, and we'll close on this, mankind, on the other hand, no matter where or when he come into being, is endowed with the innate realization that there is an infinite intelligence and a supreme power which is greater than man's ability to comprehend.